30 years ago in 1993, Radio Express launched the World Chart Survey. Every week, we were sending stations worldwide a list with the 20 best songs around the globe. The World Chart show followed 2 years later.
The world's biggest hits are waiting for you as we count them down to the world's #1 song right here on the World Chart Show.
Hi, I'm Joe Cipriano.
And I'm Ace Walker.
Hi there, I'm Lara Scott.
Counting down to the #1 song on Earth.
Hey, it's Mike Savage, and this is the world's only weekly global countdown of the hottest hits on Earth.
The World Chart Show. Hey, I'm PJ Butta, the host of the official World Chart, and for our 30th anniversary, we have some exciting news. The World Chart marks the beginning of the new season with new branding, all new sound, more songs each hour, more entertainment, celebrity interviews with your favorite artists and actors.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
Hi, this is Harry Styles.
Hey, what's up? It's yours truly, Jason Derulo, and you're listening to the World Chart.
And more new features, the world premieres and extras you know, plus exclusive charts from the Americas, Europe, Africa, and Asia. Only the hottest artists, the biggest hits. Brand new season of the official World Charts from Radio Express. Save the date, September 1st.
Hi, I'm Lydia Rodford, and I am here today to talk to you about the World Chart. Now, the World Chart Survey, launched in 1993, is a list of the most played songs around the world that was based on data provided by the Radio Express affiliate stations. The success of this list led to the launch of the World Chart Show in 1993. Throughout the years, the radio show has been broadcast on more than 550 radio stations in over 130 countries and been syndicated in various languages. A unique format itself, the World Chart is produced in a slightly unusual way too. It's a collaboration between the Radio Express teams in California and at our European offices right here in London. So, what's new? Well, the last 12 months, the team have been working hard on reinforcing the World Chart's digital domain. And there's more to come. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on, because from the 1st of September, the show will relaunch with a new sound, a new identity, and new exciting visuals. But don't panic, PJ Butta is going nowhere though, so you can relax. Joining us today here at our European HQ in London, we have Paul Hollins, the CEO of Radio Express, Ivan Laskov, head of content at Radio Express and the executive producer of the World Chart. And of course, live from LA, California right now, PJ Butta, the host of the official World Chart. Let's start with you, Paul. Talk to me about the inspiration behind the World Chart.
Well, the show's 30th anniversary is this year, and we figured that it was about time we should revamp and relaunch the show. The show's been popular around the world for many years, and we really wanted to just elevate the status of the show even more, make it more relevant. We've got more music on the show now, more celebrity guests, and also something we're going to be talking about a little bit later, the launch of the official World Chart Award.
I know Paul just touched on the awards. Can you share any more detail with us about what we can expect in this relaunch?
So, the award, because it is exciting. We thought we've had so many #1 artists, and we hopefully helped many young artists to have their breakthrough with the help of our stations, of course. And we thought it would be a good idea to be able to send the management of our #1 artists an award and to let them know that they're #1 on the World Chart. So we had this designed, and this will be shipped to our #1 artists every week, and hopefully they will enjoy it. This is our also new logo of the official World Chart, part of the rebrand. So all new logo, the award. And also, as Paul said, new features will be focusing on celebrity content, so more voices of our favorite artists, actors as well. So we'll be talking about the movies, and these days we have everybody talking about the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer and all the other cool things that are happening in the entertainment industry. So yes, there'll be more of that, and also we're bringing the content structure of the show in line with the most current standard. So we'll have what is called 3-break structure, which will allow us to play more music, as Paul mentioned. So we'll be every week reviewing the charts from North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. So there will be the best hits known around the whole world from these various territories. So it's exciting.
Yeah, the future feels really exciting. But before we jump into that any further, PJ, I mean, you've been hosting the World Chart now for 6 years. How have you found the last 6 years? Talk to me about that.
It's been fun. And also an honor, because I know Joe Cipriano was the first host of the official World Chart, and he's a legend. So it's been a lot of fun, especially playing music for people around the world with music from around the world. So it's been really amazing.
What have you sort of faced as the biggest challenge when you accepted the role?
Challenges, just trying to talk to Ivan and Paul because we're both in different time zones. That's the challenge. But no, really, there is no challenge because it's so easy. We were playing the 20 best songs in the world for people who love music. So really, it's the artists and the music itself makes it so much easier for us.
Yeah, you've led me on really nicely there. Talk to me about the backstage gossip, like week in, week out. What can we expect from behind the scenes as a little bit of tea for the listeners?
Me and Ivan pulling our hairs out. Luckily, we have enough of it, though. No, but seriously, behind the scenes, just doing more of everything. You know, more music, more charts, more artist interviews, more celebrity interviews, a lot more stuff. That's what you're going to see behind the scenes to make this one of the best official World Charts that were ever put together ever.
Yeah, so when they approached you about this relaunch, how did that feel for you? I mean, the last 6 years, you've got so comfortable with the branding. Is the future something that you're excited about as well?
Yeah, I'm very excited because we still have the regular features, the world premieres and the extras, and we have a lot of extra stuff. Like I said, we have more of everything, which is great. And especially with the imaging too, because I mean, the show is, started 30 years ago. So, change is good. Change is hard for some, but change is good and it's kind of necessary too, especially to update stuff. So even though there'll be changes, you still have me, the same host, and you'll still have the great music, the 20 best songs from around the world, and just a few things that'll make things a little bit different that will still be good for our loyal listeners and also hopefully attract some new ones too.
We've had a question from one of our partner stations in Mexico that we'd love you to answer. How do you feel knowing that your program reaches so many different countries, including Mexico? Do you have any plans to visit Mexico, to visit affiliates as well?
Yeah, just send a plane ticket. I'm there.
That's it. We're looking over to you guys now.
Seriously, I hope so. I would love to visit each and every one of the affiliates and even news stations too. I love to see the people who are airing the official World Chart and meet the fans in person and maybe even do the show live.
Yeah. That would be exciting. Paul, back over to you. We're talking about affiliates and working together. I mean, collabs, partnerships, that's a pretty big role in radio programming. Are there any exciting collabs or features that radio stations can look forward to on the chart?
Absolutely. We've got a whole raft of new features coming in the show. I think one of the important things, though, is, as the team have talked about already, this is about celebrating the biggest artists in the world right now, the biggest hits in the world right now. So for any radio stations that are looking and already playing the biggest hits, this show is perfect for their schedule. And I think that, PJ is a great host. He's been doing an amazing job as we relaunch the show with the new imaging, the new logo, and everything that comes together with that. It's a really exciting time for the official World Chart. And I think for stations carrying the show, of course, the connection with celebrity is so important, more than ever. So I think that the show is really kind of, as we enter this new phase of the show, I think the new features that I think Ivan's going to be talking a little bit more in detail about are really going to elevate the show for our partner stations.
I mean, before we jump into that in a little bit more detail, Ivan, as the producer of the show, I mean, community and engagement is a huge part of that. How do you plan to interact and engage with that audience that you already have and the brand new audience that you're going to now tap into?
So what we're trying to do is become more visible in the digital domain, because traditionally in radio and sometimes we're so focused in what we know, and that's a good thing. And PJ is a huge name in America, not only there because of all these years on the World Chart, but we'll be focusing more on the digital domain. So what people will see and our partner stations will see and the listeners will see more engagement on social media, specifically Instagram, and TikTok will follow. So they'll see more clips there. They'll see our overviews of the charts from around the world, our celebrity interviews with actors and musicians and other artists who will be appearing on the radio show. They will see more of that, and this will allow our listeners to interact with us. And there are other plans with the recent launch of our Mixcloud shows. So we have special versions of the shows for our Mixcloud audiences. We're hoping that we'll have another announcement later this year.
Okay.
On something that I'm not still in a position to reveal.
Oh wow, you're really teasing us there.
But yes, but this will open a whole new universe, not only for our stations but for our listeners to interact with the show.
Okay.
So yes, very much focusing. So we love radio, which is also our company's slogan, but we are also embracing the wider world of audio online in the whole digital domain. So yeah, a lot to come.
Which is so important in the landscape that we're currently in, of course. Okay, let's get into it. The features. Talk me through it as someone that's really excited to consume this now. What sort of features, as a listener, can we expect?
Yes, so what's going to happen is we will, of course, honor our legacy, and everybody knows the official world chart for the 20 biggest hits from around the world, the songs that are number one, not only in America, not only in Europe, but also everywhere else. And this remains, and we'll very much focus on that. But we are also partnering with companies that gather data from various parts of the world, because there are companies focusing on various parts of the world, and we've been planning this for a long time, but we will bring these charts. Because interestingly, people, when you ask colleagues in the industry, they'll say, well, people are sometimes bored of chart shows. But if you look at Spotify, if you look at Apple, if you look at Deezer, and then if you look at social media, people are very much excited about knowing where their favorite artists are in the charts. And having reviewed all of this, we thought, actually, it's a good idea to give the people this data in audio form, with the songs, with the voices of these artists on the show. So this is what we'll be focusing on. We will also be focusing on world premieres, one of our major features, but going to these various continents and identifying the artists that are growing internationally. So this is what we're going to do. And also, there will be one feature that will bring us back to some of the biggest hits from back in the day, from our well-known and usual suspects in the top 5. So yes, there'll be a lot new stuff for our listeners to listen to and hopefully enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, the nostalgia element is sort of interesting. I want to tap into that a little bit. But I guess quite an important question is, for someone that loves the world chart, is really invested in PJ, and it's great that obviously he's remaining the host of that. How are you going to build in all of the new features with continuing the same sense of legacy that you've had for 30 years?
So what we're doing, and the imaging will help us a lot here. So we're keeping the brand, the world chart, but the new imaging will build, we're hoping, this bridge. And what we're doing, we experimented a lot with the imaging. So it's not your typical radio sort of imaging, which is good.
Do that again.
Well, I did not sing on the jingles. This is very important to say. So we experimented a lot, and what we wanted to do is, as you say, nostalgia is a very powerful emotion. And of course, we grow up with music, we grow up with the audio that we've consumed and the stations that we loved and television channels that we loved. And we will keep that vibe, we will keep that spirit, but we're experimenting more with audio, and what our listeners and our partner stations and their program directors will hear. They will hear a slightly different, more modern dynamic, and they will hear a new version of PJ that I think they will love. And I'm really excited because what we've been doing in recent weeks, we've been testing things around, and PJ and I worked on some bits of audio. It sounds really exciting. So yes, there will be this bridge between the legacy and what the World Chart was 30 years ago, what it was up until now, and from now on, with this new sound, yeah, it will be interesting.
That's really exciting, and I think as well, because PJ was saying earlier, I mean, you're excited for change, which is great, but in your experience, PJ, I mean, music is one of the most powerful ways to connect people. How do you hope that the new World Chart will contribute to, I guess, fostering a sense of community amongst the listeners?
Well, I think the official World Chart already has a community because people want to know what's the number one song. I mean, they feel like if they don't listen to the show, it's like FOMO. They miss out. I mean, I get messages all the time from people who might have missed a show and go like, well, it's the number one song this week. I want to know. Tell me. So I think just the music itself, it brings people together, a community of people who not only love music, but want to know what are the best songs in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And otherwise you do get that FOMO and that sense of, oh my goodness, I've missed it. Couldn't agree more. I mean, no one wants to experience FOMO. Let's talk a little bit about maybe a bit of harsh reality, some honest truths. In the past, perhaps, maybe some mistakes you've made, things that haven't worked quite right. What do you think you're going to do differently this time that's going to make this new relaunch of the World Chart so successful?
Again, I think it's just doing more. You know, we're adding more charts, like telling you what are the top songs in not only Europe and North America, but also South America, Asia, Africa. So that's really cool. And then also we're getting the artists involved now, because now they get an award when they're number one. You know, so now they're involved and they're engaged. And now for them, it's like, okay, they have the number one song, not just in any of these countries, but in the world. And they have something physical they can show. And I think that's really cool and something new that should bring a lot of excitement to this new show.
These are amazing. I mean, the colours, the official World Chart number one, to have one of these in your house to say that, you know, you're number one in the world. I mean, that's huge. But I guess over to you, Paul, as the CEO, there must be a little bit of nervousness within you about this change. Is any part of you scared about the new relaunch of the show?
I think with any change comes opportunity, and we've been working on this for such a long time. We've wanted to make sure that the show itself really reflects today's radio. So as a result, there's been a lot of work in the background to make that happen. I think as well, in terms of the world as it stands right now, I think music connects countries, communities around the world anyway. So we've got that in common. Wherever you are in the world, we have a commonality in music. So that's what we want to celebrate on the show each and every week. And I think for the artists, as PJ and Ivan has mentioned, it really is now about, making sure that they are connected with the audience. With social media, it's much easier for the artists to be connected, but when you have a show like this that celebrates the biggest hits in the world, it's not just my song is number one in America or my song is number one in Europe, my song is number one in the world. There's a certain cachet about that, which I think is really, really important. So yeah, there's a little bit of nervousness, obviously, but I think that overall, because of the strength of the show, it's stood the test of time. It's been around for 30 years. This is now about innovating and elevating it to the next level.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for running me through what this, really exciting chapter now feels like. I have one final question for you, which may be tough because as radio people, we like to talk. If you could sum up the new relaunch of the World Chart show in one word that we as the consumers should be getting excited about, what would that be? Let's go over to you, Paul.
I would say, I think this word has been used way too much throughout this, but exciting is the word I would use, the adjective I would use to describe this. It's a really exciting time for the show, for musicians, for music in general. So yeah, exciting. PJ,
what about you?
I think I've said it a lot, and that's more.
And Ivan?
Reaching out.
Okay, that's technically two.
Yeah, 2 words.
We're going to do it in one. Well, we are beyond excited for the future of the World Chart, and we can't wait to join you and see you there.